The three essays which constitute this genealogy are, as regards expression, aspiration, and the art of the unexpected, perhaps the most curious things that have ever been written. Welcome to part 1 of this series on Nietzsche's Genealogy of Morals. This first part is meant as an introductory video to set you up for a solid understanding of whatever comes next. We will discuss the title of the work and Nietzsche's aims in writing it. In subsequent videos, we'll tackle the three essays that constitute Nietzsche's infamous Genealogy of Morals. If you want to be notified when these parts are released, kindly subscribe to the channel and click the bell button. And if you want more Nietzsche in the meantime, we have an entire video series dedicated to his Beyond Good and Evil. Link in the description. Without further ado, let's jump into the work that some people would consider Nietzsche's masterpiece. Part 1. The title. As with all of Nietzsche's works, we can learn much from the title alone. The full title of the work reads as follows: On the Genealogy of Morals, a polemic. The subtitle, a polemic, is often overlooked, but it tells us something important about the work as a whole. Nietzsche does not intend to play the role of the disinterested, objective scientist dispassionately unearthing the truth. No, this work is a polemic. This means Nietzsche has a goal in mind. It means he has opponents he will attack. Later on, we will see just which kind of opponent Nietzsche is referring to. The main title, On the Genealogy of Morals, tells us everything we need to know about Nietzsche's method. He will explore the concept of morality through a historical, genealogical lens. Literally, genealogy is the study of family trees and lineages. He will explore how our current concept of morality came to be throughout the lens of history. This is an unusual approach in philosophy. Most philosophers try to reason from eternal principles, regardless of contingent historical factors. Descartes used his method of doubt in order to try and find eternal truths. Kant sought a priori judgment. Schopenhauer contemplated the eternal will. Nietzsche's approach in the genealogy is the opposite of this. Nietzsche will reappreciate the role of history in the formation of ideas. This is in line with other ideas regarding objective truth and psychological constitution of the philosopher influencing his thinking. We elaborate on this in our series on Nietzsche's Beyond Good and Evil. Genealogy is also different from broader history, in that in genealogy, only our own family is of importance. We make the family tree of our family and not from some other family. In the same way, Nietzsche will ignore huge swaths of history and focus on one particular family, the European Western philosophical tradition. He will explore those attitudes and cultural impulses that have led to our present state, just like you and I would make a family tree of our own families and not the family of someone else. In doing this, of course you are ignoring the countless families of other individuals, but that's the entire point. In this way, Nietzsche's genealogy really is a genealogy and not just a history of morality. In simpler terms, Nietzsche will take us back through time and explore why we have come to believe the things we believe in. And he will then ask the question, should we still believe in these things? Why? Or why not? Part 2. The goal. The genealogy is very much focused history. But, as always, Nietzsche also has a future in mind. Those who have watched our videos on Daybreak and Beyond Good and Evil will probably see where this is going. What is Nietzsche's endgame? Nietzsche is looking into the future. He wants to demolish the moralities of old and create a new morality. This is supposed to be done through a so-called transvaluation of all values. This transvaluation of all values is an important Nietzschean concept. He even planned a book with the title The Will to Power, the Transvaluation of All Values. But sadly, the book could not be completed due to Nietzsche's mental breakdown. In short, Nietzsche will diagnose specific problems with the Christian morality which has dominated European philosophy for centuries, and he will argue for its opposite. The original German term for transvaluation is Umwertung, which has a connotation of to flip something on its head, a revolution, but in the literal sense, if you will. This transvaluation of all values is present in every single work of Nietzsche's, starting with Daybreak. The term itself is not mentioned much in the genealogy, but the underlying idea is still there, and ambitious readers should be aware of this. Throughout the genealogy, Nietzsche wants to convince us that we've been led astray by the Christian morality of self-sacrifice. To make his case, he will make a genealogical historical study of morality. By showing us how we've been duped, Nietzsche will imply, not specifically state outright, which road we should take instead. But keep in mind, Nietzsche did not write for the masses. Nietzsche does not envision a revolution in morality, at least not anytime soon. In Beyond Good and Evil, he speaks of the new philosophers of the future. In Zarathustra, he introduces the Übermensch. Nietzsche knows his writings will not sit well with the vast majority of people, but he does not write for the majority. He writes for the few. This concludes part 1 of this series on Nietzsche's On the Genealogy of Morals. This first part was meant more as a broad introduction. In subsequent parts, we will dive deep into Nietzsche's text itself, starting with the first essay. If you want to be notified when these are released, consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the bell button. And if you know someone who would benefit from watching this series, please link them to this video. It helps out the channel a great deal. With that said, we'll see you in part 2. Thank you for watching.